Hello, and welcome to the Real Horrorshow podcast. I'm your host, Samantha.
And I'm Stormy Skies, the co-host.
I'm just gonna get started because my nose has been stuffy this entire week. Like I go to bed breathing fine, but I wake up breathing out of my mouth. And I think I've explained it before, but my throat has been making noises when I breathe out of my mouth. It sounds either like a radio or a woman screaming. And so naturally, for me, it's very loud.
Yeah.
And it keeps waking me up.
Yeah,
And
you wake
so
yourself up. Yeah. Interesting.
yesterday, which is my day off, quote unquote, Fridays are like my non-work days, but I use them for creative projects. It's fine. I'm doing work, just not getting paid for the work yet.
I love that. You don't have to justify it to anyone, girl. I wish we could all do that, but yeah, go for it.
We should all have 4-day work weeks. I
agree.
The science is behind it.
I agree too, for real.
Anyway, so I woke up at like 6:30 yesterday.
Damn.
Which I usually sleep in until like 8 or 7:30-ish.
Okay, cool.
And so that was rough. Today I woke up at 7:30, managed to sleep for a little while longer and finally gave up at 8. Yeah. But pollen has been so bad this season.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's the worst it's ever been.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Like pollen and allergies are high every day when I look at the weather app. It's so frustrating.
I love looking at that to see what's like high and low and like all that stuff.
So that's been my life.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. And do you ever like get the nose stuffy where it's like one nostril?
I would yearn for a one nostril. Like it's annoying, but when that one nostril opens up,
at least it's there.
It's a miracle.
It is. So for you, it's either all or nothing is what.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll make this one a quickie.
So if you hear creepy mouth breathing, that's just me.
Just like it's like, no, it's just say I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I watched this last night.
I watched it yesterday afternoon.
Excellent. Okay.
I have my little Notion pulled up with the blank short story notes because I did not get around to reading the short story again, but
this was the Pendulum. It's just the guy gets like cut in half. It's like
that's what I'm picking up from the synopsis is it's the Spanish Inquisition. We all know that the Catholics did a lot of bad stuff during the Spanish Inquisition, including cutting people in half with pendulums.
Yeah, like shit. That must have taken a lot of time and effort, but whatever. But yeah, Edgar Allan Poe took a liking to that macabre way of killing somebody because they had to watch and wait for it and they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and
it's in a Saw movie we just watched a couple Saws ago.
It was. Yeah. And as Verna said, she chose such a dramatic way to kill Freddy because he was so fucking awful.
I know, right? But dude, I feel like I barely like seen him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
But like what we have seen of him has been pretty fucking awful. He's been abusing his wife.
Yeah, I know.
Because he found out that she had gone to Prospero's party, had taken her wedding ring off, and so he's throwing a fit that she was cheating on him, which is fair, but I feel like her current situation holds precedence over an extramarital affair at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like wait until she's healed.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's the type of thing where you have to like just wait till she's better and then you can have a discussion about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a goddamn psychopath.
Yeah. So that was a big focus of this episode. Yeah. Tammy's dead, and so Freddy just kind of falls off the deep end. Officially 5 of his siblings have died, including his sister, his full-blooded sister, who he grew up with.
Yeah.
They share a mother, and he had taped up his and I can't remember the wife's name. He taped up their wedding picture all over her room.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I was like, the fuck, man? And he's like addicted to cocaine officially now.
Yeah. And he banned Lenore from going into her room because she knows something is up. She knows that the caretakers are not coming to visit her mother. And she's telling her dad, I found this really good clinic. They specialize in skin grafts, especially for chemical burns. We should send mom there. And he's like, no, I don't think so. And stay away from your mother.
Yeah, and he's like, get out of my face. Bye. I'm going to
Yeah.
work.
Because now that all of his siblings are dead, it's really just him and his dad running Fortunato Industries.
Yeah.
And Roderick is also not doing very well. Juno has decided that Ligadone is addictive and she wants to get off Ligadone. And her Fortunato applied doctor tells her, you need to do it very slowly, confirming her fears that Ligadone is addictive. It's
Straight up
worse than
drug.
heroin.
Yeah, Jesus. 3 years of slow coming off.
So she tells Roderick that she's going to get off of it. And he's like, no, don't. And in his creepy speech, he says, I'm not a monster. I'm Victor Frankenstein. You're the monster. You're my perfect specimen. You just absorb the Ligadone. And that's why I married you. And she was like, well, fuck, 3 years of horrible withdrawal sound better than spending the rest of my life with you.
Right. Yeah.
And she pieces out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does. Poor girl.
Yeah. Meanwhile, with Madeline, she's planning on usurping Roderick's position because he has dementia. He has a very severe case of like schizophrenic dementia. That's not an official term, but he has schizophrenia going on with it. And so she wants to take the opportunity to finally usurp the company for herself, which I think has been her goal this entire time. We've picked up on it throughout these episodes in both the flashbacks and the present day timeline that she doesn't want to be beneath a man. Right. And so she finally returns to their childhood home to confront Verna, who's waiting for her.
Yeah.
And a weird moment that I wanted to get your thoughts on is Madeline's bangs are a wig.
Yes, they're a wig, but then also, of course, she's like wearing a wig for the show, but I don't know why, like, it's just the bangs that are the wig.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like maybe it's trying to be a cool moment where she's like, oh, I'm taking off my mask and I'm like putting it all out there. And it's like, it's just like your bangs, dude. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if there was like some Poe lore behind that or
if there is, I don't know it. Okay. They're doubtful.
Because I just thought that was an interesting moment.
It was. I'm like, all right, cool.
That didn't really do much. And so she goes into the house and Verna's waiting for her and they have a long conversation about how they're very similar. They want the same things. And Verna knows that it's wrapping up. Her time is coming to an end. The curse is almost done.
Yeah.
And she has the whole thing set up for where we are in the super present timeline where Roderick is telling Dupin what's been going on. And he confirms with Dupin that once the story's over, Dupin will be able to arrest him for murder. So we know Roderick himself is going to murder someone.
Yes, he is. But it also made me wonder whenever she was meeting with Verna what this big deal they made way back when was at that bar. Like I'm guessing we're gonna find out the last episode, which is the next one. But I'm like, damn, like what was it? I'm guessing it had something to do with killing all the kids.
Probably had something to do with killing Roderick's whole bloodline, so that Madeline can have the power she wants. Because if Roderick has kids, they would
one by one take over.
They would become his heirs and not Madeline. It's like Succession, I imagine. I haven't watched Succession, but
you would really like it, Sam, if you tried it. It's really good.
I need to watch it.
It's similar, but it's the same idea as like you have these kids and you have to kind of like decide who is going to take over based on their competence, and everybody's like just okay.
Because if those decisions aren't made, it tends to fall to next of kin what happens to the property unless the parent or the deceased states otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was my one thought about her meeting with Verna.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the past, the 1970s past, we see the shitty thing that Roderick did to Dupin, that made him hate him so much. And it was so for the last 6 episodes or so, Roderick and Dupin have been working on his testimony about Fortunato, forged signatures at Fortunato.
Yeah.
However, he goes into the room and says, "No, I've just been playing Dupin because he's been harassing my family, and I swear that I don't know anything that's been going on shady at Fortunato," and basically fucks over the whole case. And Annabelle is confused and pissed off and upset because she thought her husband was going to do the right thing to get this company taken down for being terrible.
Yeah.
And he gets arrested for perjury, and she and Madeline are sitting in the apartment, and Madeline's like, "You were so stupid. If he had done that, he would have been sued and you guys would have had nothing. But now that he's betrayed Dupin and stood up for Fortunato, the board members and everyone else is going to be speaking about Roderick Usher, and he's about to become filthy fucking rich because of his loyalty to the company," and says some very, very hurtful things to Annabelle, like, "Oh God, you really are just a housewife, aren't you? I thought you were just like spreading your legs and having kids to ride his coattails up to the top and never have to work a day in your life. I almost respected you for that, but now that I know that you just genuinely love my brother, fuck you."
Fuck you. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this whole thing was bonkers, because I was like, I didn't know he was gonna say no to Dupin. And I was like, what the fuck, man? So I felt bad.
So we're probably going to see officially what happens to Annabelle. We know that it's heavily implied in this episode that she's dead.
Yeah.
Because Dupin says that Annabelle was the only good Usher, and Roderick's like, "Yeah, you're right, but she's gone. She's been gone for a long time." But there's Lenore. Lenore is the good Usher. She's the purest of us all.
Yes, yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah, so I wonder what happened to Annabelle Lee. I guess we'll find that out in the next episode too.
Yeah, she's very devastated, and Madeline said some terrible things to her, and I think
that was so mean.
Yeah, it's gonna be tragic because Annabelle Lee is a tragic love poem.
Absolutely. And she just dies of like a cold in the poem.
Yeah. And that's another thing that Verna says to Madeline in the present timeline, where she says that Roderick would have been happy being a broke poet. You're the one that pushed him to be the person he is today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
So the episode ends with Lenore breaking into her mother's room, seeing what her dad's doing, waking her mother up because before her dad left, he drugged her. So she sees what's happened. She's able to wake her mom up. Her mom says, "Your father is abusing me." And Lenore calls the police and an ambulance to get her mom out of there, while Frederick is monitoring the demolition of the chemical factory where hundreds of people died.
Yeah, that's like the ball from like the first or second episode.
Second episode. And
I forgot about that house. I thought it was down already, but I guess it's coming down.
Yeah, he's all coked up and gets knocked out by Verna, and he's paralyzed on the ground. And she says, "I was thinking about giving you an easy death, like just a heart attack in your car or this or that, because it would have been easy to believe it was an accident with how much cocaine is in your system." But then she saw what he was doing to his wife and the pliers. I missed what he did with the pliers. I'm assuming he pulled her teeth out with the pliers.
Yeah, he pulled all her teeth out.
Yeah.
That I think might be an Edgar Allan Poe thing, but yeah, that's why he keeps doing that paralytic things, pull her teeth out and shit. Fuck, man.
Pulling her teeth out, and Verna was like, "That was just so despicable and disgusting that you're not going to get an easy way out of this." So she, in her construction worker getup, because this is construction worker Verna, she tells them to begin the demolition, and they do. and some weird magic stuff happens, and a piece of rubble turns into a pendulum, slowly swinging back and forth until it finally reaches him and cuts him in half.
Yep.
And one thing I
Mm-hmm.
thought was interesting about this episode was how Roderick saw the ghost of Freddy versus how he saw the ghost of all his other children.
Yeah.
In that it wasn't adult Freddy coming to jump scare him. It was Annabelle bringing his oldest son to him as a child. He picks him up, and then the little boy falls apart.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting, and
that was different. I like that. Yeah.
It was, and I think it shows how Roderick viewed Freddy, at least for a moment in his life, as his firstborn child, his son, how happy he and Annabelle were in that stage of their life.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it also shows that like whenever he like was a child and he was holding him and that's when he saw his like him get cut in half, I almost feel like that is when he stopped kind of caring about his son. You know what I mean? And like I feel like that's like that's him being like innocent. Like that's his like cutoff point. I think after that, Freddie had to like start to mature fast because of everything that's been going on with like him probably like becoming rich, fucking a bunch of girls. You know what I mean? Like having other kids, being the oldest son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right, because Verna says that Freddie wanted to be a doctor when he, not doctor, dentist when he was young.
Yeah.
So that's the irony of him ripping out his wife's teeth.
Yeah.
Is he wanted to be a dentist, and that was probably taken away from him when, you know, his father was arrested for perjury, and then probably skyrocketed to the top of the company, and then started having affairs and producing all these bastard children. And as the oldest son, he's the one who saw that from beginning to end, because even though Tammy exists in the 1970s timeline, she's a baby. She's not really cognizant for this portion of their life. But Freddie remembers when they had nothing. Freddie remembers when they were just a happy little nuclear family unit.
Yeah, exactly. But then, and now if his mother does die, which she may like even kill herself or something, he's like, I feel like he's aware enough to like be like, fuck, like, and then I feel like when you are mature enough, you're like, oh, it's my dad's fault that my mother killed herself. Like, if that's what happens or something, but whatever it is, it's kind of his fault because he like never told her anything, but Madeline knew everything. So it's super fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, to be a small child and go from having this very loving nuclear family to suddenly not having a mother, to having a father who's always working, only cares about his fortune, only caring about how the Usher family name can rise to the top.
Yeah.
That's gotta fuck with you, because you're part of like that legacy now, and you weren't really, that was never really a plan for your life. It was
right.
You wanted to do something else, but you didn't really get that choice.
Yeah.
But as Verna says, even though he had a shitty childhood and a father who didn't really care about him, that doesn't excuse what he did to his wife or anything he's done.
Yeah, he just like totally fucking lost it and took it all out on her.
Yeah. And I do think that kind of confirms my theory that Verna is trying to give the Usher children a way out. She always offers them like two options. Call the party off. Don't turn on the sprinklers. Don't adopt this cat. Adopt the other cat. Don't go bother the chimpanzees. There's always a way out, kind of like tests for each one. And they've all failed so far.
Yes, they all have. God,
I'm
like,
still
like
hopeful.
watching Saw.
I'm still hopeful that Lenore comes out of this alive.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like all the Usher children started out innocent and wanting to do good. But something happens. Maybe it's the money, and maybe Verna sees that once Lenore inherits this money, once all the Ushers are dead, that maybe, just maybe, it's not worth the risk. I don't know, because we still don't fully know what the terms of the curse are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I know. I can't wait to see. Now I'm like really interested in what that could be.
also, Lenore's probably going to die just because she is Lenore from the Raven.
Do you think
and
so?
maybe I mean,
yeah,
because Lenore is dead in the Raven. That's the whole thing about the Raven is he misses Lenore.
Dead. I know she's already dead. Rest in peace, Lenore. Rest in peace, every female, honestly, except for Madeline, I guess.
So far,
yeah, they must all just die. Like, rest in peace, everybody.
Yeah.
But we have one more episode to go, you guys. So we'll see like what can happen.
Yeah.
You know, what more can happen? Episode guide. Let me see. The last one is called The Raven, as you said. As you say. And so yeah, that's the next one. And that ends it for that series.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out our next show.
Yeah, for sure. But after that, we're on to another Saw movie, which is Jigsaw.
Saw retrospective part Jigsaw.
And I really thought that since I thought there was 10 episodes, so I'm stupid there's 8. Because I was like, why did we run out of TV show but didn't run out of Saw? I was like,
yeah, I was thinking it was 10 episodes too. Yeah, but it's fine. I blame Saw for not knowing when to quit.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, we could have been done, but no, Jigsaw and then Spiral, and then we can once again. Is Saw 10 like available? No,
it should be. It should be at this point. It should be available for rent.
Absolutely. Yeah, watch movie. Yeah, it looks like it's available in a bunch of places. Okay, cool. Well, in the meantime, prepare yourself for Jigsaw, Sam.
All right, I will.
Cool. And then we'll finish out the show after that. But yeah, that's all I have. I don't think I have anything to add other than like that was a pretty good episode. I hope there's a huge and big finish with like a crazy bombshell or something. So that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see.
All right.
Well,
that's all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you next week.
Yep. See ya. Bye.
Bye. Oh god, that's the wrong button. Let's just end it the whole thing.
Okay.
I like the creepy dog.